Ministry of Education partners with International Leadership Coach to provide training and capacity building to principals. We'll have details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Friday, July 16th, I am Rakisha St. Louis. A Grenada-born U.S.-based leadership coach has commended the Ministry of Education for the strategic measures implemented to ensure that the nation's students have continued access to education during the COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Anthony Bridgeman is currently on island, engaging principals of primary and secondary schools in an instructional supervision workshop. During his visits to his homeland, he works with the Ministry of Education, Human Resource Development, Religious Affairs and Information to engage students, staff at the ministry and also at schools. Dr. Bridgeman explained that the workshop focused on establishing effective school improvement plans, which will result in more instructional supervision and leadership.
We've been working with the principals throughout Grenada on different topics, but the theme has been on instructional supervision, leading your school, also with regards to developing effective school improvement plan, school leadership teams, giving feedback to teachers, and the observation process. It's all about really improving their practice. So I think the Ministry of Education has done a very effective job with regards to following the protocols, as Grenada hasn't had a very high percentage of positive cases. It's because of the protocols you guys have put in place and have followed. So I think kudos to them in terms of the work they've done. Teaching and learning is still going on. Students are still taking the exams. Teachers are teaching. The school year has ended. So I think you guys have done a very good job with regards to the pandemic.
Education Minister Honorable Emmeline Pear says the workshop is in keeping with the ministry's agenda to develop, strengthen and transform the education sector. She says the goal is to ensure that training and capacity building for principals and teachers is continuous.
Dr. Bridgeman has a wealth of experience, and not only does he have a wealth of experience, but he has a passion for education and the transformation of the education sector. But what is even more beautiful is the fact that he's local, he's Grenadian. And so the fact that he has traveled from the US to be with us here as part of this developmental program, I want to say on behalf of the ministry how much we appreciate what he's doing and the support that we have been receiving. We continue to work aggressively and we remain focused, particularly in times of great challenges as it relates to COVID-19 and all of the other industrial issues that are confronting the Ministry of Education at this time. I am sure with that continued effort of development that we are going to see the fruits that would come out of that for the benefit of the education sector.
Principals Kester Lyons, Laurel Bartholomew and Nerissa Celestin James are all thankful for the opportunity to be reminded of the critical roles they play within the sector. They are excited for the start of the new school year in September to apply the knowledge they have learned during the workshop.
For the week, we have been exposed to a lot of leadership and management issues, and I think that for me as a principal, I must say that it has been very enlightening. The engagement, the discussion, scenarios has been extremely good. I'm looking forward now to going back into the school to implement some of what we did here for not just today but for the week, and I believe that it would help me as a principal to be even more effective on the job in my duties, in the execution of my duties.
It actually would aid me in terms of improving instructional leadership in terms of going forward for the new academic year, particularly in the area of school improvement plan, as to how to develop the plan better and how to manage, seeing our role not just as managing the plan, but as how to become more improved in instructional leadership. It was my wish that if all principals or persons in management could have been exposed to a workshop like this, I believe our education system would be a lot more improved. There is room for a lot of improvement at all stakeholder level, and I trust that we can move so with a better collaborative effort.
I was able to acquire a number of strategies that would be helpful and meaningful to my school. So for instance, in terms of, we learned a lot about team building, we learned a lot about institutional strengthening, right? School improvement plan and so on. We had several models to choose from, and we were given the chance to express ourselves, talk about the challenges that we have as administrators, persons who are like that versed and experienced in the field of education. They are indeed resourceful to the development of our schools. And I just want to commend Dr. Bridgeman on the execution of a well-facilitated workshop.
Residents of Shenda in Happy Hill have expressed gratitude to the government of Grenada for the construction of a much-needed access road. The 495 feet of concrete road with box and slipper drains form part of special projects through the Ministry of Infrastructure Development. Parliamentary representative for the area Prime Minister, Dr. the Right Honourable Keith Mitchell, says although the wait was long, he is pleased to see the realization of the road while he still holds office.
We used to use that shortcut, but of course there were no rail road there, and there had been a clamoring of the people in the community in Shenda for that road, and we were finally able, because there was some land issue, the question of who owns what and whether permission would be given. So that was settled, and therefore, as you can see, the road is now fully under construction. I think what they're waiting now is to concrete the road, because all the preliminary work has been done. So that's an enormous, important road for the community as a whole, and I feel very happy that it's happening during my time of service.
Michael Batiste was awarded the contract and says that his team has made significant progress since the commencement date in April of 2021, despite challenges to source the raw material as a result of heavy demand from the construction industry.
We have 495 feet, we already do half of that. This half year now is for the roller to come and roll to prepare for concrete. As soon as we get the roller, we're ready to go to the second phase.
What here was like before?
Yeah, it was a track, just a little track I call 2J. It was a 2J. He had major step back in building the road. This is not the first time they try to get a road, but he had land issues with the passage. Let's say anything, a no road there is a 2 feet track he have and whatnot. But at last they come to agreement now to build the road. And now the road building, all the people with on the side of the land, they agree now. They could come in a little more, they could take more, make the road a little wider. They find it narrow. So they tell me open out. Yeah, so we walk into suit. The road officer just come when they say go out, I just call him and tell him, well, them neighbor they say we could open out here, so you tell me what to do. You say, all right, if they tell you open out, make it the best. Yeah, and we take what we get. Some places it's 10, some places 11, 12. We work with it.
Two residents, Thomas Hilaire and Joanna Sylvester, say construction of the road is welcomed by residents.
This is the most important road for this village in the back here. You have other shortcuts they just pass, but this is the main shortcut, and it is long coming. We need that road, and as we see building here, we're well glad that this road is building. Because over 90-something years, our great-grandparents tell us about this road, they wanted that road to build. And now that the road is building, we are well happy. It will be also for my business here, it will be well good for my business.
So what sort of conditions it was in, especially in the wet season?
Well, it was like a drain. A lot of people fall here who get a foot break. All kind of things go ahead in that piece of, you used to call it a track. It's true Jake is in him. It's a track.
The road is very important to me, especially because during the rain season, we cannot go out. And I thank God and the government that he see to the problem of that road, because we call him to see the road, and he say, well, he going to give us the road. And I thank God that I don't have to touch no more again. I'm very happy, and I enjoy it.
With the project complete, residents will no longer face the challenges of excess water flow in their yard during heavy rains. This is the National Report. The news will continue after the break. Welcome back. Trainees of the Skills for Youth Employment in the Caribbean program SKY in Grenada joined in the World Youth Skills Day celebrations on Thursday. They engaged in a ground lifting exercise to recognize the importance of skills development and training for young people through the Skills for Youth Employment program. SKY is a program funded by the United Kingdom and implemented in 4 Caribbean countries: Grenada, St. Lucia, Dominica, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. In Grenada, approximately 1,000 youth benefit from technical and vocational education and training through the program. Scott Fusidon, new British High Commissioner to Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, said the UK government is committed to advancing youth opportunities.
The British government is committed to helping the countries of the Eastern Caribbean develop the skills among their young people as a way not just to improve people's lives, but also to develop these economies so that your economies are stronger and more resilient for the future. So this particular programme involves us spending about 35 million EC across 4 countries of the Eastern Caribbean. A quarter of that is being spent here in Grenada, helping something like 1,000 young people to develop their skills so that they can find new employment opportunities and play a really active role in this country's economic growth.
Minister for Youth Development Honourable Kate Lewis thanked the United Kingdom for partnering with the government of Grenada to help secure a future for the nation's youth. She also commended the trainees for a job well done.
We are happy to have received funding from the UK in terms of the SKY project, Skills for Youth Development, partnering with the government of Grenada, ensuring that our young people are fully prepared for the new emerging jobs that will be available. They are involved in several skills programs at the moment that is at the CVQ and NVQ level. Today we are here with Andre Belfon's construction company and trainees who are involved in the site sovereign, and I am happy to see them display what they have learned, the theory that they have learned for the past few months now actually on display. So it shows that our young people are receiving the opportunity to develop themselves holistically to prepare for the new job market.
Trainer and CEO of Andre Belfon Construction Company, Andre Belfon, said this is a proud moment for him.
In recent days, we've had a massive flooding where the entire playing field was flooded. So we came up with an initiative to demonstrate how we can actually prevent the field from being flooded by demonstrating using surveying instruments, lifting the floodplain or the playing field to the height of a raised levee to my right, where these guys have been demonstrating. Absolutely amazing day. The SKY contingent has been quite, responsive. We've had quite a number of trainees. I think they're doing quite well, in fact, with the performances that we've seen today.
Prime Minister Dr. The Right Honourable Keith Mitchell also attended the event and visited the site. Finally, in the news, Grenada is now home to a fully automated greenhouse, the largest to exist in the Caribbean region. A revolution for the agricultural sector in Grenada, with a technology that can protect plants from unfavorable climatic conditions, promote increased yields and reduced labor and resource costs. Mina Buka has more in this report.
The structure commissioned at the Chinese Agricultural Mission at Lassaja St. David has been described as a milestone for agricultural development and modernization in Grenada, as it will serve as a facility for agricultural services, technological innovation, demonstration and training, research and development, along with being a new base for sightseeing and other activities to enhance interest in agriculture. This agricultural development is a boost for food security and holds the key for poverty elimination and sustainable development. That's according to His Excellency Wei Hongxiang, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the People's Republic of China to Grenada. China and Grenada, he said, share similar goals as it relates to food security, a major challenge for both nations. While the COVID-19 pandemic has brought unprecedented uncertainty for both countries, China stands with Grenada, ready and willing to share its development experience, assistance, and support to revitalize the sector, uplift farmers' income, promote modernization, and climate resilience. By cooperating with the government and people of the People's Republic of China, Grenada has been able to improve the socio-economic conditions of many of its citizens, including farmers, says Honorable Peter David, Minister for Agriculture. He said the technology can be used to grow a wide variety of crops.
Protected agricultural structures such as greenhouses fit nicely with the ministry's plan of increasing food production via protected agriculture technologies. It is therefore incredibly fortuitous that this facility is being commissioned at this time as we deal with the negative impacts of COVID-19 on our food and nutrition security. Comrades, I truly believe that this type of technology is what we need to invest in and promote if we are to entice our youth to pursue agriculture and make the sector more sustainable. This facility before us will be a model that can be adapted to fit the purpose and conditions of many producers to ensure that more of them use protected agriculture to produce many of our vegetables, ornamentals, and horticultural crops.
Parliamentary Representative for St. David, Honorable Oliver Joseph, said this type of technology can be a mechanism in reducing the country's import bill, which stood at $350 million EC dollars in 2019.
I'm very ecstatic that the largest greenhouse in the Caribbean is located right here in St. David's. Grenada has a food input bill, 2019 figures, because 2020 with the COVID, we saw a reduction in the food input bill, but that is because we had no choice. By 2019, when we had the choice, Grenada's food input bill was $350 million DC dollars. And that is why we said that we must feed ourselves in order to cut back on this huge food input bill. And greenhouse is one such technique that will help us to increase our production and ensure that we can produce what we eat right here in Grenada.
With the floor area of 108 square meters, the facility provides real-time monitoring, early warning and regulation, and creates suitable environmental conditions for crop growth and development. The commissioning of the greenhouse is the culmination of the 7th phase of the Technical Cooperation Program, which was granted to Hobby Daddy International Company for Economic Technical Cooperation, or GROUP. For the Ministry of Agriculture, I am Mina Booker.
Thank you, Mina. That story just ended the national report for Friday, July 16th. Let's recap the top story. Ministry of Education partners with International Leadership Coach to provide training and capacity building to principals. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Rakisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.